And hello to all my Leo friends, I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for April 2023. Now today they have dialed up for my great Leos, a storyline spread. And a storyline spread is a great spread for general readings because it casts a very wide net across the entire sign of Leo. We're going to be telling different stories for different Leos. Telling different stories allows me to be very accurate because it's like a bunch of mini readings all in one group here. So the storyline spread can be about just about anything, any topic that Spirit wants to address. Very interesting. And there is going to be a story in here that is right for you. I've had people tell me that sometimes multiple stories do and will resonate with them, and that's okay if it does, but at the end of the day, we're here to find the story that is all about you, and we're going to get that done right here, right now. They've asked that I conclude your reading with a spread I call Telling Time, and that is a very interesting one that Spirit is basically looking forward down the path, and there's a future window that they want you to be aware of, and that's what Telling Time brings forward for you. That's always fun, and we're going to conclude your reading with the runestone, so we have a lot to get to, Leo. Let's get started right now. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save us all a whole bunch of time, and now I'm going to bring you in the overhead so you can watch. Like to share my table with you, show you what's going on. Lost my camera there. Okay, I'm going to have to push a button. Working with a new phone here because my other one pooped out on me. So this one is just going to have to get the job done. Hopefully it does with very little problems. And now that we got the technical difficulties out of the way, we're ready for your reading, Leo. These are my ritual cuts. Basically, I cut each deck into thirds and then put it back together in a separate order. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. It is the same procedure for personal private reading, so it's just like you're here with me now. So here we go with your storyline spread. Any storyline spread, whether it's about a topic or just general like what we're doing here today, it starts with 5 cards. They all start the same. So here are your base 5 cards, your core group, and then we expand out from there where we need to go. And I am going to need more cards. And I should also warn you that this deck that they wanted to use for you, I call this my geometric deck, it is known for creating very large storylines because the facings are kind of off. You know, there's not a whole lot of facings, and that is how I get my stop order from Spirit. I know I'm off camera now, guys, so that's actually going to be my end there. No, it's actually not. It's very borderline, and that's why I told you this deck. There's my end. So let me kind of move this down here so I can show you what's going on. You got to pretend this is one big long line, first of all. For the sake of the camera, I'm going to cut it off here. I believe you can see it all. Yep, good. So if this is all one long line, this is my last one after your 5 cards. That is looking back this way. So that's bracketing us off. Stop order from Spirit. Now the inverts, don't think we have enough to matter. Pretty good distribution, so that's good. Now I got to get pairings together, which is also complicated in this kind of deck when we don't have a lot of facings. Facings make things very easy, and that is not the case here. So that's going to go here. See if he's attached there too. He is, yes. This is all going to be one story here, these 4. As will this. And then out of these, the beginning group, that's definitely here. Is this going to stay separate? Yep, so we're looking at 4 stories, guys. It's going to look like this. This is where the table will get very full because I need more cards to describe each of these 4 stories. I can move them around now because they're already married up. So I'm going to kind of make some room for myself. I will move the camera around to show you everything at the end. The Moon card's a major arcana. It's going to get 2 to describe it. Over here I got a person card, a court card with a princess, another deck that's a page. I do a discard there to see if it's about a person. They said yes, so that is about a person. And what is this person doing? They're doing that. Okay, so here we go. That story is done. Moving over here, pip, 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 pip. We have all pip cards in this story. Basically, I'm just going to get 1 card to help kind of give us a little extra information towards it and just leave that one be. Coming down here to our final story, I have the Queen. I'm going to check that one first. If that's a person, they say no, so we're using the energetic definition there. And then here's on Strength, I need 2 cards because that is a major arcana card, so there's our 2 there. So the card work there is done. Checking the inverts one more time now that we pulled more cards, seeing if we have any blockages. We're actually pretty good clear read here for you. So that's pretty, the card work's all done except the majors. I just need, not the majors, but the angel cards. I just need an angel card for every story, and then it's a matter of just showing you on the screen. So every single story gets one of these, and then I show you, and then we get to work. So let's do it. I'm going to yank this off of here. we're going to go story 1 right there. Story 2, we're going to kind of do this kind of a thing. It's going to be right here. Story 3, I'm actually going to come down here, and I'm going to end at the top. So this is going to be 3. And I'm going to wrap up at 4, where we got our soulmates coming in right there. So story 4, 4 stories to go for my great Leos. Got to get to your telling time too, so let's get to work. No time like showtime. Let's roll. Okay, seeing it clearly. Story 1, guys. This is your attachment card. This is what is basically like figuring out if this story is about you or if it's not. And we have 4 to choose from. So here's the beginning. If you are a Leo who has been going through some really weird times, this is a weird, mysterious, kind of doesn't make sense phase. You could very well be with me here in story 1, especially if it's in reference to love or the family. Okay, they bring in the Lover's card. It doesn't mean it's actually about a lover. It just means you and another person that you're very close to. So if you you have something weird going on with your sister, like a weird dispute or a fight, something like that, it could very well be the same energy here. And I also have a sibling card come in with my 6 of Cups. In this deck, it's a sibling card. So that's what they're showing here, is that this is somebody that's very close to you. Maybe a close friend, maybe it could be the relationship partner too. I don't want to rule that out, but I don't want to tie it down too tight either. So this, if you're going through a weird phase, this is more than likely what your story is. Now, what do we do with this story? Well, they also show that there is some sickness involved here. Usually this is not like physical sickness when they're talking about like drama. Usually this is more just like a pain. And if you go back to that card, in this deck, it shows like literally swords impaling going right through this guy's heart. So it's a stinging thing. It's something that really kind of bothers your mindset, lives around in your head rent free here. And it's a painful type of experience. Okay, so it's not fun, to say the least. Spirit is basically saying so it sounds rough. Everything we've talked about so far sounds rough, and it may be. It's probably how it feels for these people. Keep in mind, we got 3 more stories. But what they tell you to do here, they're basically reminding you that you're blessed. Okay, so maybe this is like one situation with one person, and the rest of your life is very nice. Okay, you have great people, great friends, with the exception of this one drama situation. So why let this one egg spoil the whole carton? Okay, that's kind of like what's going on here. Why let the one kid in school who, talks and chews gum, why is he going to get the whole class in trouble? Okay, so that's what is going on here. So they're saying you're blessed. There's something to be thankful for here. Don't get stuck in the drama. It's hard to do that sometimes, but that's what Spirit is saying, is like rise above it. Do what you got to do. Overcome this. This is going to end. This is not forever. This is cyclical, more than likely. And with that moon energy, eventually that is going to fade too. We're going to get more sunlight. Things are going to start making more sense. Okay? Maybe not April, but soon. So hang in there. Story 2, guys. Moving right along. Story 2, our attachment card is, I call it my death by 1,000 paper cuts. So we go from a tough energy into another tough energy to start with. So this is, if you've really been experiencing something that's just a real nag, pain in your butt here. This is not where it's weird and mysterious like story 1. This is like something that is just this car keeps breaking. Why does, this part goes wrong, and then this car, and then I got a flat tire, and like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? So whatever that's about is something that is a nag. It's a residual thing that keeps bothering you. Maybe it's a creditor, maybe it's the workplace, maybe they're down your throat. Spirit didn't come out and say that. That's just me kind of speculating here. So usually what happens, as you'll probably learn if you haven't already, is that the things that I'm speculating about, usually they're inaccurate. It's the energy that I'm trying to convey that is accurate here. That's what Spirit's trying to do. Of course, especially in a general where we have so many great Leos tuning in, guys, you're all living different lives. And even if you're in the same story, there's different moving parts. So I'm trying to give you enough to make it make sense for you here. Okay, so that's what they show first, is that nagging, that paper cuts, just like a paper cut. It's not dangerous. It hurts you, it stings a little bit, but it's more of an annoyance than anything else, because now you got like this mark on your hand or wherever else that it hits. And every time you turn a doorknob or grab a piece of paper or anything else, you're feeling this paper cut again, and it's a nag and it's annoying, right? Now they bring in a person next. This is a princess. So this is usually somebody who's young. My page is like a young person. This is a princess in this deck. Other decks it's a page, but basically means generation gap younger. So it could be like talking about your kid here. that is the nag that's giving you a real rough go of it. Or you could be the kid. They could be talking about your parent. Now, parents can do the same thing. It's like, especially if you're taking care of them financially, or even just a caretaker where you're taking care of like nursing home type stuff where their necessities and needs. So, it can go both ways, guys. Long story short. So they show generation gap difference here. Could be older, could be younger, depending on where you're at. That is coming in. And they're inverted here too. So this younger person more than likely is either not happy about something, they're not feeling something, or something is off here. So they're upside down for a reason. Of course, it's not comfortable to hang upside down. So that's what Spirit's showing here. Could be something about a car. We have transportation that also came in here with the Chariot. This could also be about really needing to hone your energy, or this person's energy, into one focus. Okay, there's too much spread going on. It's too wide. The Chariot, the horses are trying to pull the cart in two different directions, and that don't work. The horse has got to be pointing the same direction for this to work and for this to go. So it's basically Spirit's way of saying, don't do this, do more of this. Very tight focus, okay? Tunnel vision a little bit here. They show a leg up too. So you're trying to get a leg up or trying to help the other person here. More than likely, it's trying to help the younger person. They show the little baby polar bear climbing up on the mama polar bear's back. So that's Spirit's way of saying that. So there you go, a leg up. And it can also be a step above too, if that's something that you've been looking at. This could be Spirit's way of saying, let's say you're looking for an apartment, right, guys? If you go to check out this place, you really love it, but they only have the second floor available. You really wanted the first floor. You wanted the bottom unit. Well, a leg up could be the second unit. So you got to think of different ways that this can make sense to you. It's what I'm trying to tell you guys. As we get into story 3. Story 3. I did say down here. So story 3, the first thing we start with is weakness. We got to turn this into strength, guys. So if you've been having a hard time of finding the courage to do something, really kind of stepping up to the plate when you're needed to, and you're just, oh man, I don't like to do that, or I'm not comfortable doing that, this could very well be you in story 3. And again, they're starting out a little brash on you here, Leo, and it's because you can handle it, okay? You guys are not soft. You are a fire sign. You are Leos, my great Leos. Always showing up to my readings, doing very well with the likes, always at the top group. My Leos are tough. And that's what they show here is, we don't want to act out of weakness. We want to act out of strength. And they show a lion in that card. So it is my Leos, like double direct, okay? So we need to turn this weakness around here in story 3. Whatever has got you feeling the lack of courage, lack of confidence, we got to turn that sucker right around right here in April. We cannot wait till May or June, summer. No. Right now, guys. They bring in the 4 of Wands. So this is something about an event, too. This is getting something together, getting ready for an event that is in this month, and it presents itself very good. This can also be a work event, or something you do for work that is more of like a party or something like that, gathering, going out together, something like that. So that presents itself very good. That's just a random moving part in here. They also show here that there is a hesitancy to move on beyond something here in story 3. Now, what is that? I'm not sure, but it has an emotional attachment to your heart, and that's probably why you're having a hard time getting beyond it. It's something like, I was going to say a bad habit, but that's less of an emotional attachment and more of a physical one. This is an emotional attachment. So having a hard time like leaving a job because you love the people, having a hard time leaving somebody behind, like going back to your ex over and over because you just cared about them so much at one time. So I'm giving you examples of a heart attachment here, and that's what they show coming up in story 3. Having a hard time moving beyond something, even though it's best for you to do so. So what is that? You got to figure out how to do that. You have the courage, is what Spirit's saying. You got to just be courageous and get it done. We have the Queen of Swords coming up here. They did tell me not a person, though, so we're using the energy of really getting your mind straight here in story 3. That is the key, is mental clarity, mental focus, figuring out things that are going on behind the scenes, perhaps, behind your back, perhaps, all that kind of stuff, getting a good headspace, okay? If you're not in a good mental capacity, everything else just falls apart. It's foundational. You have to have the foundation to build everything else up. So mental health is a big deal in story 3. Please take care of yourself there. And they also show the home in a very good way. This is really, looking around, this is our first largely positive, directly positive omen here. They're saying the home is checking in very good. The environment also, the area around you, It's coming in very good and clean. Okay, so we want to use that and focus on that. That is our driver. They say go the distance here with my Angel Oracle card. Some of you may also be working on the home this month. Also, that's also checking in very good. Spending money on the home. They show go the distance, so they're reminding you this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. You guys got to go the whole way with this. You can't go partial measures. You got to go the whole darn marathon. Okay, so you got to do it and pace yourself too. You don't want to wear yourself out right away. If we're going back to the home project, you don't want to work too hard and then like hurt yourself, hurt your back. Trying to paint walls, paint the ceiling, whatever you're doing, you don't want to overdo it. Okay, so remember that this is a long deal. This is a marathon. Whatever you're trying to do, don't race. It's not a race. Now, before we get into your story number 4, that is the big one with the soulmates. I need to cut away to tell you about the moon cycles, and I'm just kind of peeking ahead here. That is a lot about work stuff in there. Interesting with soulmate love mix, but I don't have any new or purge. Well, we do have the purging in story 3, leaving something behind. That is very full moon energy. So we're going to cut out for the moon cycles, tell you about the full moon, new moon, and the new gemstone in the shop. Come back with your story number 4. Okay guys, it is moon cycle forecast time. Very simple set of moon cycles this month. Going to be a very quick pull. Also going to tell you about a brand new gemstone in the shop. But first, those moon cycles. The moon cycles are starting to move through earlier in the months. So now we have the full moon that hits first in April. That comes through April 6th. That is the peak, which basically means from April 1 through about the 10th, it's going to be very strong energy for getting things out of your life. That is what the full moon does. I call it the garbage truck of the universe. Get anything out of your life that you don't want there. Use that energy to your benefit. It's already out there. The energy's already there with the moon. Might as well use it to your benefit. Much easier to walk downstairs than walk upstairs, swim downstream than swim against the current. That's what the moon cycles do for you. So it doesn't matter what you're trying to get out of your life either. The universe does not care whether this is breaking habits, whether this is getting rid of people. Some of you actually have to get rid of people and some cordage in your life, and all that stuff doesn't matter what it is. Much better placed early in April. Even if it's cleaning out a closet, a garage, getting rid of old things, maybe you got to sell something. That is all full moon energy, much better placed early in April. Adversely, we have the new moon, which comes through April 20th. April 20th is the key there. I can't say to focus on bringing new stuff in the end of the month anymore, because the 20th is moved up far enough here where the end of the month is getting more back into some full moon energy. So the focus for bringing new things into your life, manifesting in things that weren't there before, is the 3rd week of April. April 20th is the apex. It doesn't have to be on the 20th though. Any kind of time around there. Let's call it the 15th through the 25th. Pretty strong vibration there for bringing new things in, whether you're trying to attract brand new love, whether you're trying to do something new with work, get a new job, do something new in the health corner, or do something new with your money. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's brand new, it's much better placed under the new moon, peaking on April 20th, but anytime right around there is key. And like I said, don't wait too long into the month to get something new going, because if you do, you're going to bump into that full moon energy eking its way through from May, and we don't want to do that. So that is your moon cycles, guys. Like I said, short and sweet there, but let's talk about the gemstone. I'm really proud to bring this one to you here. This is the first gemstone that is in the shop that is actually a permanent part of the Scott Sagent table, and it's right here. It's a little piece of sodalite. Sodalite is the gemstone for this month of April that we are releasing and debuting for the month. And sodalite is, I call it my wisdom stone. It is good for many different things. I'm going to be posting that on the shop page of my little research bracket there, my little graphic with all the great things sodalite does for health, for metaphysics, and for the whole bit. I call it my wisdom stone. It's sitting right underneath my ruby record keeper. So we have wisdom on top of wisdom there. And this is a wonderful stone that you guys will enjoy. And the full write-up is available on scottsagent.com. Check that out. You guys will love it. Let's get back to your reading. Okay, Leo, here we go. Story number 4. The first thing that comes up is, got a couple different definitions. Let me give you a few. One is travel. This would be block travel, though. So it's travel that's not happening in April, but you're planning for later right here in April. It's like you're getting ready, you're booking a trip here, maybe for September, some other month, right? So you're getting ready, you're planning for something. The other definition of this is, moving into kind of some rough patches here. And as you can see, that's how a lot of these stories come together. There is a silver lining, kind of a silver line that runs through them all. It's the web that they weave, and you can see that, Leos, at least when we start the month, are going through some conflicts, going through some difficulties, and that's what they show here to begin with. Even though they bring in soulmates, which is a nice thing to see, they're showing rough times here. So this is not necessarily the best month for everybody getting along and coming together and having, hunky-dory rainbows, unicorns, and bubblegum, all things well. Okay, it's a struggling beginning. Okay, it doesn't mean the whole month is going to be like that. Maybe it's just a couple days. Maybe it's just one day. Hard to say. But it's like kind of moving down into the river. If you look at it like going down a river, sometimes the river's smooth. Sometimes the river's got rapids. Sometimes the river's got waterfalls. Okay, sometimes it gets a little bumpy out there. So that's what they show. You're kind of entering this bumpy phase. So it's letting you know, like in story 3, to go the distance. You got to go the whole way. You can't hit one rapid and be like, okay, I'm done. Get me out this boat. You got to keep going. So there's no quitting. Next thing they show here is learning from your lessons. They show you guys have done a really good job of it, so we need a continuance of it. So here in story 4, it's basically saying things from your past are going to be re-entering in April to say, hey, has Leo learned this lesson? So here's your chance to show the universe, yes, you have. The next thing they show here is work in between 2 places, maybe in between 2 jobs, 2 positions. Maybe some of you are trying to figure out something else to do for work. Your work corner is a big place. Work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age, learning anything new, hobbies and interests also fall into their work corner, entrepreneurship, big corner. So you're between 2 kind of places here, but you're comfortable between it. So that is the key, is to find that comfort, what you can handle. You don't want to take too many hours at the second job. If you're working 40, especially if you're putting a lot of time and energy into the first one, you got to find this healthy balance here. And that's what they show you doing here in story 4. They also bring up injuries, so be careful of hurting yourself. And that's why they say find a comfortable position. Don't overdo yourself. Don't overextend yourself, because bad luck can happen here. They show that too. The Wheel of Fortune, inverted. It would mean good luck if it was the other way, but it's showing a downswing here. Nobody's ever on an upswing forever. Wheel of Fortune is like the roller coaster card in tarot. It's up and down and loop-de-loops in every single which way. And this is showing that you're just on a downswing here. So like I said, it may be a very short one, maybe just a couple days, but it's letting you know that this is not your fault. So don't blame yourself. Don't blame anybody else either, okay? This is just universal, kind of fortuitous, or in this case, unfortuitous things that just happen, and you just got to deal with it and overcome it, and that's part of what we're here to do. Okay, so we're letting you know that there is some chop in those river and those waves coming at you here in April, and that you guys are ready and to really personify yourself with the Leo energy and rise above it. Okay, so let's grab that rune stone, then we're going to get into telling time. It's going to be interesting to see what they did with that. Give them a quick swirl here, shuffle up one more time, and rune stone for my great Leo is going to be this one right here, which is the rune stone of possessions. Possessions, the things that you have control of, the things that you own, the things that you have control of that, basically saying, you know what? Do not worry about the things you don't have control of. Only worry about you. Worry about the things that you can control, and not so much the bad luck of things that come and fall and doesn't work out the way you expected. Expectations, also ripoffs. So you can see there that just kind of falls into place with everything else. And it could also be an idea for you to take a look at your possessions. Maybe sell something, maybe buy something in the month of April, okay? Kind of depending on where you're at, what your necessities are there. Now we got to get into your telling time. I do need to cut out because we used a ton of cards here. So I want to reshuffle this real quick. I'm going to cut out to do that so you don't get bored there, and we'll be right back with your telling time. Okay, Leo, I am back. The cards have been reshuffled. Going to ritual cut it one final time. Put it back together in a separate order, and we're ready to go. Telling time goes in rounds. If we get a date this first round, it means vitally important. This is a date you cannot miss for the life of you. It's super urgent, and it's going to be super specific to a certain week. We might not have a ping this date, this first round, which will go a second round. That'll give Spirit an opportunity to take a little wider scope, and that appears to be what happened here. So instead of getting you to pay attention to 1 week, this next round is about 1 month. So let's run that. A lot of signs got these telling times this month too. Very interesting how that works. And here we go, second round. I don't have a date yet. Still going, no date, no date. So now we go into round 3. This is the final round for the future, and this basically says 2 months. So if it's Spirit's saying, hey, we got Leos that are looking at, November, December for this thing we're about to talk about, this is the round they want to give us our date. So here we go. Looking for our marker. The final round for the future. Still no date. Almost out of time here. And last card, the very last card hit. So there is our date. Now I need to tack on time to it. Here it goes 1, 2, 3. And what it's about goes this card. And then finally, angel card, also describing what it's about. So everything's ready, guys. I'm going to cut away one more time to add up and do some math here for you, and I'll be right back. Okay, Leo, I am back. I've calculated your time here for telling time. You will not believe what they gave us. They basically said April and May. April and May is your window. So basically, right now. Now, what is this about? Well, first of all, the Oracle Angel card says here and now. So it's basically them saying, now what is this about? Because they could have just talked about this in your reading. Now, what they talk about here is being very authoritative with your mindset. We did talk about that a little bit in one of your stories, but this is really the time to take charge here. This can also be a card about being the boss, being very boss, like a corporate boss, going to your boss, asking for a raise, something like that. They didn't say work, but they do bring this up. This, for a lot of people though, this is going to be taking authority over something that you haven't taken control of. At least up here. It doesn't mean that you actually take the physical action, but the Spirit is saying you need to decide in April. And if not in April, it's got to be decided upon by May. So whatever this major decision or whatever's got you kind of like you're not sure about, whatever you're wavering about or have confusion about, Spirit is saying you got 2 months to get this figured out. And to the point where they wanted to give you a whole telling time just for me to be able to deliver that message to you. That's how important it is. So that's going to conclude what has been a very, very interesting reading for Leo. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe. I do these videos every single month, and have a great April.